Ladies and gentlemen, damas and caballeros, we live in a fast-paced world where people are juggling many tasks at once. Meetings, getting work done, getting around, eating, taking care of kids, spending time with family, and maintaining relationships. There are so many things that consume our lives that we often forget to give some of our attention to something very important, arguably the glue that holds everything in life together, and that's money. Many people live such busy lives that they don't have the time to manage their money correctly, but in this video, I want to share 10 money management tips that can help you manage your money regardless of how busy you are. And the first tip is prioritize money. If you live a busy life, it's very easy not to prioritize your personal finances, but money is really the glue that holds everything in life together. I mean, why do we work? To make money. How do we get around? By using transportation that costs money. How are we able to eat? By buying food with money. Everything we do in life revolves around money in some way or another. And so you should take it seriously. You should prioritize it because the more you focus on budgeting, saving, and managing your money, the less your life will revolve around it. If you don't prioritize your personal finances and just leave everything to chance, then your life will forever revolve around money. Even if you're busy, it's important to prioritize your personal finances because what's probably making you so busy is the lack of organization in your finances. Now, the second tip is start viewing money as time. When you really boil down money, it represents your time because we trade our time, usually in the form of a job, in exchange for money, usually in the form of a paycheck. And it's important to make that connection because if you make $20 an hour, then $20 represents 1 hour of your time. And if you live a busy life and you're trying to save time by seeking a more convenient route, like getting food delivered to your house for $20, you might save 30 minutes of time, but that convenience costs you 1 hour of your effort. The trade isn't worth it. And it's important to see this connection. And every time you're busy and want to take the easy route, ask yourself the question, is this whatever worth 1 hour of my time? For example, is this delivery fee worth 1 hour of my time? Probably not. Even if you're busy, spending money on convenience could actually make you more busy because the cost of the convenience is worth more than the cost of your time. Now, the third tip is don't always seek the easy route. So as I just said, sometimes when we seek what is easy and convenient, we end up overspending because the convenience is worth more than our time. And in the modern world, everything is becoming more easy and convenient, which can save you time and energy. And probably one of the best examples of this is instead of spending hours of time shopping at a mall, you can go to Amazon and get it delivered to your house. And if you're busy, this can really help you save time. However, what often happens is because it's so easy and convenient, we often spend more than we would have if the service wasn't there. For example, when you have to put in the effort to go to the mall to buy stuff, you might do 1 trip a month to get the stuff. Whereas when you have the convenience of Amazon, you get packages to your house every day. You end up spending more just because it's so easy to spend money. And if you live a busy life, you should take advantage of some of these services that can make your life easier. But it's also important to be careful because they can make you spend more simply because they're more convenient. The fourth tip is keep everything in one location. If you have no time in life, one way to stay on top of your finances is to simply just keep things simple. In my own money management system, I keep things simple by having everything in one location. For example, I have one bank, and in that bank I have my checking account, savings account, investment account, and credit card. Everything related to money is located in that one account, and so it's very easy to keep track of my finances, whereas many other people have a much more complex system, where their checking account is in one bank, savings in another, investment in another, and credit card in another. And it becomes harder to keep track of things and much easier to overlook something, especially if you're living a busy life. But if you can keep everything in one location, as long as it's below the FDIC limit, then it's much easier to manage your money and stay on top of your finances. Now, the fifth tip is delegate your money. Another way that I stay on top of my finances is to make sure that every dollar that comes in my life has a home and a purpose, because it allows me to prevent overspending and stay on track with my financial goals. For example, I have 3 different accounts, and each account has a different purpose. My checking account is my spending money, my savings account is my emergency money, and my investment account is my growing money. And every time I get paid, I delegate an amount to each account. An amount for investing, an amount for saving, and an amount for spending. That way I don't confuse my saving money with my spending money. And when you live a busy life, if you delegate your money in each of these different accounts, it prevents you from overspending and it makes it much easier to stay on top of your goals. Now, the 6th tip is keep your spending money in cash. A huge part of managing your money is to simply make sure that you're not spending more than you're making and also have some money left over to save. And an easy way to make sure that you don't overspend is that every time that you get your paycheck deposited into your bank account, move money into savings and take your spending money out in cash. And that cash that you have in your wallet is solely for spending your money on certain things. For example, whenever you buy something like groceries, you pay in cash. When you're busy, it can be hard to keep track of all your finances, but when you have to physically pull out money, hand it over, and feel your wallet get lighter, 1, you're more conscious of your spending, and 2, you know when you're almost out of money. If you get in the habit of keeping all your spending money in cash, it's much easier to prevent overspending. Now, the next tip is automate your bills. When you live a busy life, it's very easy to be forgetful and not stay on top of your finances, and you could forget paying a bill like rent and then encounter a fee. But one easy way to not forget is just to simply automate all your bills. I personally have my gas, water, rent, insurance, and electricity enrolled in autopay, so the first of the month it gets paid without me doing anything. It's one less thing to keep track of. Now, the 8th tip is create a paper bill list and put it on your fridge. If for whatever reason you don't want to enroll in autopay, maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe you got some trust issues, another way to stay on top of your bills is to simply get a piece of paper and write down all the bills you need to pay, the amounts and their due dates, and put it up on your fridge. And this can help you stay on top of your bills and not forget to pay any, because chances are you go to your fridge multiple times a day to get food, and every time you'll go, you'll be reminded. And if you pay a bill ahead of time, you can cross it off the list. It's a very easy way to not lose track of your bills. Now, the 9th tip is focus on one task instead of multitasking. Now, this might be a controversial statement because everything triggers people nowadays, but we often think that we can juggle multiple tasks at once, and we call it multitasking. But for most people, this is not possible. And as cool and productive as this sounds, what actually happens is that we give a small amount of energy to many different tasks, and we don't accomplish one single task. It ends up being counterproductive. But a good way to be productive with your personal finances is give one task 100% of your attention, complete it, and move on to the next task. It's way more productive. For example, I recently moved across the country, and I've had many tasks to do that involve managing my money, and following this strategy has made me much more productive. I signed up for utilities, then enrolled them in autopay, then changed my USPS address, changed my bank address, changed my license, changed my car insurance, etc. You just complete one task before moving on to the next. And if you live a busy life, this is a much more productive strategy because instead of trying to juggle 10 tasks and getting halfway through those 10 tasks, you fully complete one task and then move on to the next. Now, the final tip to managing your money as a busy person is don't be so busy. Now, we live in a fast-paced, busy world. However, I believe that a lot of this busyness is just self-imposed because people make themselves always available, work when they're supposed to be off, and don't fully take advantage of their vacation time. If you're watching this and you're not from the United States, this might sound crazy, but if you have a good job in this country, a good job, the average American gets 10 days of paid vacation time and 8 days of paid holiday time. And that's if you have a good job. If you don't have a good job, you're going to have to work 52 weeks a year. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, the American dream ain't what it's cracked up to be. But although we Americans have so little time off, we don't even use all of our time off. I mean, according to Pew Research, 46% of American workers do not use all their vacation time. People are more busy than ever because they impose this busyness on themselves, and now more than ever, we need to set boundaries. By not always being reachable, don't work when you're not expected to, and use all your vacation time. And then use that time to stay on top of your finances and enjoy life, something that we Americans don't know how to do. And with that, I got a dog making noise over there, so I got to check on her. She's been very good while I'm recording, but muchas gracias, que tengo un buen día. Nos vemos, chico. A treat for being a good dog.